You delved quite a bit on the Sanātana philosophy of existence. Can you give us a brief idea about that? That we are a little bit
Okay, the Sanātana philosophy of existence. Okay, so for this you have to be really alert. It's a dense concept. Okay, so the Sanātana philosophy of existence centers around the concept of Brahman, which is defined or rather considered as the first layer of reality. It is the basic substance from which anything and everything is made. This substance holds in it the key to all the discoverable knowledge in the world. Now you find so many discoveries and all are happening, whether it is electromagnetic waves or radio waves or whatever, it's all existing, right? So Brahman is supposed to be that substance which is the first substance or the first layer of reality. I'm not going to get into quantum physics because it will become too much. But everything in the universe is made of Brahman, which is the ultimate cause for everything and which has always existed. See, something always comes from something, right? So let's, okay. Let me explain it a little differently. Brahman is called Sat Chit Anand, okay, which describes Brahman's nature. Sat means existence, Chit means consciousness, and Ananda means bliss. Sat Chit Anand, okay. So to understand Brahman, we will have to first understand matter. I'm going to make it as simple as possible. Now, perceivable matter. Let's take anything. I think sugar, water, perceivable matter. You, me, all of us. But let's take any of these. They are all made of elements which combine in different ways. You agree with that? Elementary chemistry, they combine in different ways. Now, elements are made up of atoms. Atoms are the smallest particle having the same basic properties as the bulk element. You agree with that? Right? What are atoms made of? Atoms are made of protons, neutrons, electrons. Correct? Now further protons and neutrons are made up of quarks. Quarks, when we were in school, we were not taught. But that is currently, quarks and electrons are the smallest particles of matter as of current knowledge. With time, in future, we could find more, discovery of smaller particles can take place. Now, where does our quest end? Because something has to come from something. So, if we say X makes Y, Y makes Z, Z makes this. So, where does our quest end? According to Sanātana Dharma, the last layer of reality is this Brahman, which is not material in nature, it is spirit only, and the first spark of matter comes from this basic cause. It is unfathomable because human beings will get down to whatever is matter, human beings will ultimately find it out. It is possible. But Brahman is that substance which is unfathomable because it is not material in nature. It is spirit only. And that is Sanātana Dharma's postulation of the first layer of reality. And that is why Brahman is existence or Sat. And this Sat exists in most, concept of Sat exists in most Indian religions, including Sikhism. Ek Onkar Satnam, This concept of Sat is there in most religions which have emerged from India. There are smaller religions also, but one of the bigger religions is Sikhism, so I mentioned it. So Sat, now it's clear, more or less. Yeah. Second point, the second aspect of this is because it is Sat. Now we go to Chit. Chit means consciousness. Okay, now let's look at matter again. It's the easiest thing to say. Do you know that there is intense motion in even the smallest particles? Inside the atom, the protons and neutrons are moving continuously, electrons are moving continuously. Inside that proton, the quarks are moving continuously. There is intense motion in all objects, including a stone, creating the force to keep matter together. Can we then say that there is dynamic universal knowledge in matter that makes it do things such that matter is held together? So there is knowledge in it, right? Dynamic knowledge. Modern thinking, and this is not Indo thinking, it is Western philosophers and some scientists also back it. This consciousness in matter, dynamic knowledge in matter, is called panpsychic consciousness. It is present in everything. If you look at yourself, your cell biology is panpsychic consciousness. It has its intelligence of its own. Correct? So right from the panpsychic consciousness of inanimate objects to the consciousness exhibited by human brain, right? This is all a creation from that one basic substance. It had to be there, that knowledge had to be there for it to further evolve. And this consciousness expresses itself based on the apparatus of expressing it. The human apparatus on earth allows for the highest expression of consciousness that we know. There could be more beings with a higher expression of consciousness. We don't know that. We haven't discovered that, isn't it? So right from the panpsychic consciousness to the higher consciousness in human beings, there is knowledge everywhere. And that is Chit. That is why Brahman, the basic substance from which we all are made, is Chit. That is the Sanātana Dharma conceptualization. Now we come to the next, and there is Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Ananda is bliss. Now Brahman does not have body-mind complex. It does not have attachment to objects. Brahman is the Brahman has created pleasurable objects for us to enjoy, right? We get attached to these objects of enjoyment, to our relations, and whenever there is attachment, there is going to be pleasure and pain. Attachment causes expectation. Non-fulfillment of expectation causes pain, sorrow. You lose somebody you love, you feel extreme sorrow, right? So expectation not being met, loss, all these aspects are part of pain. So pleasure and pain are two sides of the coin of attachment. Brahman does not have a body-mind complex to experience pleasure and pain. It is part of every pleasurable thing in the world. It has come from Brahman, the pleasurable object. But Brahman is what they say, Nirakar, Nirgun, Nirmohi. Don't look at Brahman as a person. Look at Brahman as a state of existence, which is the first state of existence, and that which has absolute stillness and absolute peace. That is why Brahman is Ananda. So we have Brahman, Sat, Chit, Ananda. So this is the first concept. Now I am going to take just 1 minute to explain the other two divinity concepts, okay? After that, then maybe any other question you have. So, what is the Atman? We have the concept of the Atman. The Atman or the Atma that you say is the spark or the essence of this divine Brahman in every person. That is the Atman. Atman and Brahman are the same substance, there's the same material. So if you have a whole ocean of water, then Atman is the drop of water. Are you getting it? Another example, if the air is Brahman around you, and if you have a soap bubble, the air inside is the same as the air outside. Air inside is Atman, air outside is Brahman. So this is the concept of Atman. It is as simple as that, and that is why we say that everything is within us. So the Atman is Brahman in us. Aham Brahmasmi comes from here. And the third concept of divinity is very simple. It is the Vishwatman. Now Brahman has two relationships with respect to the universe. One is it completely transcends the universe. It's outside the universe. It is beyond the universe. The other is it is completely infused in the universe, in everything. So it is outside the universe and it is inside the universe. That is why that which transcends the universe, it does not have shape, it has not manifested. That is called Nirguna Brahman, and that which has manifested into shapes, into you, into her, into me, into the fan, all that is Saguna Brahman. So Nirguna Saguna, you understood? Now we come to this Saguna Brahman is called Vishwatman. You hear the word cosmic consciousness. Brahman is the supreme consciousness, Chit. Vishwatman is cosmic consciousness. It is the collective consciousness of all created beings. Got that? Collective consciousness of all conscious beings. Now this collective consciousness is what we worship. Brahman, Vishwatman, these are very complicated concepts for simple people, common man, to try to explain all such Chidananda. It's very difficult. So the concept of Ishvara comes in here. We, Sanātana Dharma, personifies knowingly, knowing that Brahman cannot be having any form. It can be a collective consciousness, but it is not the element of that consciousness, but it is consciousness. So we give it form and we call it Ishvara. And when we personify it as Ishvara, we give it a superlative form. We describe it as a superlative. If you read Vishnu Sahasranam anytime, you will see the description of Vishnu. Superlative form. Best attributes. He is beautiful. He has the best qualities that, and how do we conceptualize best qualities? We don't know what are the best qualities, but we think of ourselves first. And we say, okay, if these are the best qualities a human being can have, we give it to Vishwatman as Ishvara. We say, he is personified as Ishvara, and we pray to that. So we pray to what you say, Saguna Brahman or Vishwatman or the collective consciousness. We pray to it as Ishvara, he. And then he is for us Purushottama. Purushottama is the best of the Purushas. So this is our conceptualization of the cosmic consciousness. It is not cosmic consciousness the way probably some other being from some other planet would envisage it, because they would look different, they would have different attributes, then they would envisage that Purushottam differently. Are you understanding my point? So this is Asia. So I have finished with the metaphysics of divinity right now.